DM Ultra and Dark Aether, the only two animated camos in the game currently until they at least put in the confirmed animated camos in Season 2. These two camos though are by far the hardest camos to get in the game, as they require every gun to have gold camo for both multiplayer and zombies. Maybe though, you want to know if it's worth your time or which one is easier to get. Well, let's talk about that. Before we get into this though, make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more Cold War content like this, as with Season 2 on its way, more videos will also be on the way. And don't worry, it's always free to subscribe, and you can always unsubscribe later. But getting back to the topic, DM Ultra and Dark Aether. If you don't know, they are the final mastery camos in the game, with Dark Aether being the zombies camo, and DM Ultra being the multiplayer camo. One thing that I do have to say though, is that these camos take a long time to get. For example, it took me 5 days to get Dark Aether when the game first came out, and another 5 days to get DM Ultra, so a combined total of 10 days to get these camos, which that's a lot of time. Now, for Dark Aether, it's fairly simple, and thankfully most of the skins are the same challenge for each gun, which just makes it easier to run through, and zombies is a very casual mode. And for the people doing this challenge now, you actually have 2 maps to work with, where I only played Die Machine for 5 days straight, which was a little boring to play the exact same map every time. So if you don't think it will make things easier, trust me, it's going to make this challenge a lot less boring, as you can swap out each map that you want. One thing though that DM Ultra has that makes this much harder than what it needs to be is the skill based matchmaking. Now, I won't lie, once you get to the harder guns like the launchers and the China Lake, your KD and SBMM is going to plummet, which will make things easier, yes, but for the other guns, it's going to be so incredibly annoying trying to get some of these camos when everyone is slide canceling, jump shotting, drop shotting, and whatever else it might be that allows them to win that gunfight. So that's the one thing I would keep in mind if you're going for DM Ultra. It's not going to be easier, and you're going to get frustrated a lot, whereas zombies, you're just shooting bots for hours on end, which is a much more casual mode, as you can just throw on some music and go crazy. Looking at the skins themselves now, this is where another point comes in with the fact that Dark Aether looks 20 times better than DM Ultra in almost every single way. The only thing I can think of, honestly, when it comes to DM Ultra is that it's much harder to get, so it's much more worth showing off because only a handful of people have it, whereas with Dark Aether, I feel like every lobby I join, there's at least one person using that skin, which just makes it a little less rewarding to have. Now, I have said it before, and I will keep saying it, it would have been so much nicer if these skins were reversed, so Dark Aether was the multiplayer camo, and DM Ultra was the zombies camo. So overall, it comes down to the fact that Dark Aether looks incredibly better and is incredibly easier to get than DM Ultra, but it feels like everyone has it, so it's much less rewarding when you're running around with it, and 10 other people in your lobby have it too. Also, Dark Aether was bugged when I went for it, which I can't tell you if it's still bugged, but pretty much I just unlocked it super early. I didn't even have to go for the other guns, I just did it in case they ever fix this bug, and it was never fixed during my time of playing, so I cannot tell you what happened, but to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure it's still there, which just makes getting this camo even easier. DM Ultra, however, looks much worse compared to Dark Aether, but it takes twice the work to get, and you come around 1 or 2 people that have the camo every 10 or so games, so it's much more rewarding to have, as it's one of the more rare skins in the game. So honestly, it just really comes down to what you want. Do you want an easy skin to get that looks really nice but almost everyone has it? Or do you want a skin that looks less nice but is rarer and makes people envy you when they see you rocking it? In the end though, if it came down to my personal opinion, I would have to say Dark Aether is more worth it than DM Ultra, as Dark Aether is easier to get. So if you have a job or you have school and you can only play Cold War for a limited amount of time, it's much easier to get and you can probably get it faster. But DM Ultra is much harder and it takes twice the work to get. So if you just want a straightforward opinion, I would say go for Dark Aether. It's much easier. But ultimately, it does come down to what you want most. Anyway though, if you enjoyed the video, a like is greatly appreciated and a sub means even more. But until next time, see ya.